Y'all don't know what it's like to lose a parent to his kind. About 6 years ago, my father just up and walked out on us like it was nothing. My mom and myself and 5 siblings. Now, I was the oldest, so I had to pick up the slack and do what I had to do. You know, I dropped out of school, I went to work, and just did whatever I needed to do. There were nights when we didn't have food, water, clean clothes. It just felt bad. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my daddy just up and pops back up out of thin air like it was nothing. I was mad as hell. But at the same time, relieved that I didn't have to be the breadwinner, because, you know, for the longest, I was looked at as the provider and doing what I had to do to take care of everybody. But nothing really changed. My mom and dad, they continued to fight and fight just so my dad could have an excuse to up and leave the house whenever he wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. So one night I followed him. He ain't had no car, so I knew it would be on foot. He took some back roads and streets, and we finally pulled up to this location. It didn't have a name on it. It just said a sign with the address 5500. I ain't had no clean clothes to go inside, so I just kind of waited out for a whole fucking 2 hours. Well, I waited, and one day, just as planned, I knew he would pick another fight with my mom, so sure enough, as scheduled, he picked that fight, and he up and left again. This time, I went and got my freshest unit, I got ready, and I followed that nigga where he went. Went back to the same place. When I first got inside, it didn't hit me right away. Couldn't really put my finger on it, but there was just something different about this club. It was all kind of dark corridors and smoke and fog everywhere, and that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks. There were no women in the club. Just men. I hated him. I hated him. Not too much longer after that, he left me again. Me, my mom, and 5 siblings. And not too long after that, my mother had AIDS and died. I knew it was his fault. And I did everything I could to try to mask the pain and to try to stop it. And that's when I saw him standing outside of the club. Because I used to ride by that spot, that same spot every night, just waiting for a motherfucker to be on the DL and do that crazy ass shit that I knew this nigga was doing. The same shit that my father, my birth father, used to do. And so I rode up on him and this lady just leaving the movie theater, and I waited for them to come outside. A good 2.5 hours. See, niggas like him are the reason why people like my mom, my mother, a good, hard-working, God-fearing, Sunday school devoted, going to Bible school, every fucking Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, you name it, have to suffer. And you want to tell me about what God can do? Where was God when my mother was suffering because of grimy ass niggas like him? No one should have to go through that. No one. I can understand if you a fucking junkie or a prostitute, but not my mama. So that's why I have no fucking sympathy for whatever happens to this nigga right here.